to make some coleslaw for those vegan seafood tacos. And what I have here is coleslaw from the shredded bag that I did in the haul the other day. Now, I didn't use it all. I used a couple cups here. And then the rest I always store in a mason jar, and I have plastic lids. This is a wide mouth, so I store it that way and it stays fresher. Alright, and here I have about 1.5 tablespoons of lime juice, and I'll have to taste it to see if that's enough. I'm going to pour that in there. Here I have a good heaping teaspoon or a couple teaspoons of some of this garlic with spices. I had that in my fridge. I want to use some of that up. So it's like a marinated garlic. And I'm going to add some Frank's hot sauce because I do have a jalapeno, but I'm going to add this instead because I like Frank's hot sauce. It's never too hot for me. And here I have about 1/4 cup of chopped up sweet onion. Here I have about heaping 1/4 cup of Granny Smith apple that I had in the fridge. That actually somebody gave me a couple of those, so I want to use those up. And here I have a couple of heaping teaspoons of sugar. I have about 1 teaspoon of garlic salt, a teaspoon of onion powder, and 1 teaspoon of lime pepper. And that's all going to go in there, and then I'm going to taste it and see if it's enough seasoning. I always cook by taste, so it's hard for me to judge exactly how much I'm putting in a recipe. But since I'm sharing, I do have to give some idea. So this is going to get all... I like to mix this up before I stick it in my dishes so I don't get any hot spots. So I'm going to mix that all up. And then I want to make some street tacos out of this with the seafood from the OKARA. The OKARA that I'm going to make the seafood patties out of. So here go the seasonings. And hopefully that'll be good. I'm not going to use the rest of this apple. I'll probably eat that as a snack later. So here goes my apple. And yes, my hands are clean. And the sweet onion. Now I would recommend a sweet onion, but if you don't have any sweet onion, you can use a shallot or green onion or regular onion, but I have a sweet onion. It was something else that was given to me. It was left over, a real big one, so I'm going to use that up. And then here goes the garlic. And I hope this is seasoned enough, because sometimes I get a taste in my head that I want to get into a dish, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So there we go with that. And I'm going to mix it before I try and put the hot sauce in there, because I don't know how much I'm going to need. And I'm thinking I'm going to need more lime juice, but this salt is going to cause this cabbage and apple to sweat, so it will condense and become more liquid. So, and I think I want to add a little celery seed to this too, if I can find it. I have celery salt. I'll have to pause this a minute and get the celery seed. Okay, so I'm going to put, about half a teaspoon of celery seed because I do like it in coleslaw. But since I want to make this with the fish, well, not fish, but you know, the OKARA, I still want that taste in there. So let me give this a little taste and see if it needs more, because once it sits, it's going to be totally different. I think that's going to be good. So now I'm going to add the Franks. I don't like it too hot, so I'll measure it out for you. But I'm going to start out with, about half a teaspoon. And this will be really good on the street tacos. The taste I wanted was a little sweet and sour. I don't want it too sour and I don't want it too sweet either. So that's the nice thing about shredded cabbage and coleslaw. You don't always have to make the creamy coleslaw. You can add it to your tacos, you can add it to whatever dish you like. So I need a fork. So let me give this another taste. Whoops. I think that's going to be spicy enough for me. But like I said, you have to let it sit in you know, at least 4 hours. Overnight is even better. But there it is. Now if you like the taste, you can add some cilantro to that, which I may do. You can add some cumin, which I also think I may do. In fact, I'm going to go get some of that. So here I have some ground cumin, and I'm just going to sprinkle a little of that on there, not too much. And I'm not sure if I'm going to put the cilantro in or not. Cilantro is not my favorite seasoning, but I do like it in some things. So I'll have to taste this and see later if I want to add the cilantro or not. But, excuse me, I'm going to call that good. And I'm going to be the only one eating this, so definitely add the cumin. Gives it a real good taste. So I'll continue with this recipe when I make the OKARA seafood. Hi there, I'm back. Okay, I want to try and make these. Sorry, adjust my camera here. I want to try and make these seafood cakes. I guess that's okay. Now here I have a piece of baked potato from the other night when it's leftovers. So the original recipe is from Mary's Test Kitchen. I have not made the original recipe, but I'm going to follow some of her guidelines. And of course, I can't leave a recipe alone. I always have to make it my own. So, but if you want to see the original recipe, I'll leave her channel below and you can go check that out. But anyway, it called for a cold potato. And I used up all my potatoes and I didn't buy any more, but Like I said, this was a leftover baked potato from the other night when Tom took me out to dinner. So waste not, want not. I only eat half of them because those baked potatoes are so doggone big. They could feed a family of 4. So I still have some baked potato left, so this is about 1/4 of it. So I'm just mashing it up because that's what the recipe called for. And this is the OKARA that I had frozen, and that was the soy milk leftover. So that's about, oh, it's about 1.5 cups. Her recipe called for 1.25 cups, but when I thawed it out, it was a little more than that. So I'm going to put this mashed potato in here because that's what it calls for. And I don't think you have to mash it too fine. I don't know. I'm going to call that good. So in that goes. And I think I'm going to add some breadcrumbs to mine, a little bit anyway. The original recipe did not. But I'm going to do that because I want this to be like a fishy, crabby kind of cake. So, and since this is vegan, you know, it's not going to taste exactly like fish, but close enough. There are tuna recipes out there where you use chickpeas, and I've used chickpeas lots of times before, and it's tasty. But I've never tried it with the OKARA, so I like experimenting and trying new things. So anyway, that's all mixed up. Now what I did here, the original recipe called for some nori, which is like the seafood sheets. But I have these little Kimmy seasoned seaweed classic things, and I bought those a while ago. I had those in my pantry, and they're actually quite tasty. So they come in little sheets, but what I did, it was I chopped it all up into little fine pieces, and this is DOLCE, D-O-L-C-E. You can get that on Amazon. And this is, also seaweed powder. Can't think of the name of it right now. I'll put it on the comments here. Anyway, these all have a seafood taste to them. And this one is seasoned already, so I'm going to dump all that in there. And if you have seaweed snacks, anything like that, you can use that. But that's what I'm using because it's what I have, and we all know how I like to cook from my pantry. So I need to get the seasonings together, and then I'll be right back. So here I have about 1/4 cup of chopped onion, chopped very fine. So I'm going to put that in too. And this is a sweet onion, because that's what I have, and I like to cook with sweet onions. For soups and things, I like just regular onions, but for cooking and dishes like this, and salsas, and all that kind of stuff, I really enjoy a sweet onion, or a red onion. So, okay. We got our onions, we got our seafood seasoning, and the seasoning, or the seaweed that I couldn't think of, the name is KELP. So it's just a powdered kelp. So, alright, I'm going to get my seasonings together, and I'll be right back. Okay, here's the seasonings I have. This is a little bit of onion powder, about a teaspoon. This is Old Bay seasoning, another teaspoon. I have a good round teaspoon of chopped garlic, and this is sea salt, pink sea salt, and it's about half a teaspoon of pink sea salt. And then I also put about two tablespoons of vegan mayo in here, just to give it some more flavor. So I'm going to mix this up and stick it in here. And then I'm going to give it a little taste, because I don't know, since this recipe is new, if this is enough salt for me. I do like salt. I know it's not good for you, but I do like it. So I'm going to mix that up very well. This is what it should look like. And I don't know if I'm going to have to add something to this to make it stick together. I have to try it out. I may need a little more mayo. But I am going to bread these and fry them in a little bit of oil. So we will see if this is good. I'll be back after I get that mixed up. So I tasted it, and it's getting there, but I thought it needed a little something yet. So I have some of this champagne dill mustard, but you can also buy dill mustard in other places. I got this, it was at a show somewhere, and it's very good. I like dill mustard. So I added about a teaspoon of that, just to give it a little extra kick. So the dill mustard and dill and fish is a great combination. And this mixture is holding together really well. I tried it. So those couple tablespoons of mayo and the little bit of dill mustard now is giving it a good texture. As you can see, it holds together nicely. You can make nice patties out of that. So I'm going to set up my breadcrumb station here, and then I'll be back. And then I've decided I have some lemon oil, and I'm going to fry my little cakes in that. So I'll be back in a minute. So I formed 3 different patties here, and I formed them into an oval instead of a round because I have the little street tacos that I want to eat with these. Now, when Mary made this original recipe, she put it in cornstarch only. So that one's with cornstarch. This one is with cornstarch and lemon pepper panko with a little bit of seaweed snack cut up into it. And this one is just in panko. So I want to try frying this 3 different ways and see which one comes out the best. And as I said, I'm using lemon flavored cooking oil. It's olive oil. So let's see how it turns out, and I'll be back when they're done frying. Okay, so this is the one with just the cornstarch. This is the one with the cornstarch and the panko, and this is just the panko. I wouldn't recommend just using the panko because this one is very soft. These 2 are nice and crunchy, so I'm going to use the cornstarch and the panko. And what I'm going to do, I have this ice cream scoop for small scoops, and just make this into a little oval. Push it all together and put it in the cornstarch. Oops. Falling apart here. I didn't squeeze it together enough. But that's okay, that happens, just put it back together. Then I'm going to put it in the panko. Put a little more lemon oil in. And stick it in the pan. So I'll do one more, and then I'll be back when they're all done. I do have to turn on my vent. I guess the cornstarch holds it together, so I wouldn't recommend not using the cornstarch. Don't make your oil too hot. I think mine's a little too warm. I just turned it down a little bit. If you're going to make little street tacos with these, don't make them too big, because you want to add all the other coleslaw and whatever else you want, green onion, whatever you like on your fish tacos. Okay, I'll be back when these are all baked. So here they are, all fried up, and it made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I ate the one that was falling apart. I can't even tell you how good these are. I'm very surprised. They are so delicious. So I'm going to make a couple tacos, and I'll plate them up, and I'll let you know how they taste. So here they are, plated up. And they look really good. I put a little bit of vegan cheese on there, some of my coleslaw, and I'll be back in a minute and do a taste test. I think this is recording. All right, now I'm back, and I know I've shown this before on another video, but this is a mini muffin pan, and if you ever want to stuff your tacos, you can take a big muffin pan for the big tacos, but since this is mini, I took my little mini muffin pan, and it makes them stand up very nicely. So, all right, I'm going in. Let's see how these puppies taste. They look really good, and we will see. Mmm. Mmm. I can't even believe how good these are. They're phenomenal. Don't throw away your OKARA if you make your own soy milk. The one I had was frozen for almost a year. And this is an easy recipe. I haven't tried baking it, but I don't know if you can do that or not. So this was a trial for me, and it is really, really delicious. Packed with protein, and it's really good. It's not overly fishy. It has a little bit of a seafood flavor, but I would highly recommend making these. As I said before, if you want to do the original recipe, visit Mary's Test Kitchen, but I will put my recipe below. I'll put all the ingredients, and give these a try. They're really good. All right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. I appreciate so much that you've stopped by my channel. Those of you that are new here, welcome. Please subscribe if you like my content. I do vegan cooking videos, and usually, even if I get the idea from another creator, I will give them credit, but I like doing my own thing and putting my own spin on things. So consider subscribing. All my other YouTube friends, thank you so much for coming back to my channel and visiting me. And if you want, you could do this with regular fish sticks or whatever and put the coleslaw on there and make a regular fish taco too. So anyway, I want to eat. I'm hungry, and I just want to say I love you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'm wishing you abundant blessings, and I'll see you next time. My homemade kombucha. Cheers. Bye-bye.